are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never, ever back down, and we will never, ever, ever, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. We're gonna win, win, win.
The political temperature is rising on Capitol Hill as President-elect Donald Trump lays down the gauntlet to Senate Democrats. On Tuesday, Trump took to Truth Social and X, urging his party to stand strong against what he predicts will be a barrage of Democratic efforts to delay the confirmation of his cabinet nominees. With the Senate poised to begin confirmation hearings next week, Trump's message to Republicans is loud and clear: be smart and tough. He's warned of Democratic tricks designed to slow down the process, but with Republicans holding a 53-47 majority, the numbers seem stacked in the GOP's favor. Still, while Republicans may have the upper hand on paper, political fights are never won on numbers alone. According to Trump, Democrats are ready to throw a wrench in the works, using every procedural trick in the book to stall or delay the confirmation of some of his most controversial picks. Among the nominees who may see smooth sailing are Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik as Ambassador to the United Nations. Both are expected to garner bipartisan support, but the path is less clear for others. Democrats have already raised red flags about some of Trump's most controversial choices, including Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary, Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services. And now, even Mike Johnson seems to be scrambling to find takers for his renomination as the House Speaker, even among fellow Republicans.
What's your message to those Republicans who are still not supporting Speaker Johnson?
I think they'll support Speaker Johnson. I think we're going to have a great time in Washington, and I think we're going to get great support. He's the one that can win right now. People like him. Almost everybody likes him. Others are very good too, but they have 30 or 40 people that don't like him. So
these picks could face an uphill battle in the Senate, where the opposition will pull no punches, coupled with the cracks appearing within the Republican camp itself. As the confirmation process looms, the Senate is expected to become a political battlefield, with both parties preparing for a war of words and strategies. Will Trump's nominees be able to weather the storm? Or will the confirmation process get bogged down in a gridlock of delays and partisan bickering?
Now, as the confirmation process looms, the Senate is expected to become a political battlefield, with both parties preparing for a war of words and strategies. Will Trump's nominees be able to weather the storm, or will the confirmation process get bogged down in a gridlock of delays and partisan bickering? Arjun Samar Mahendran for NDTV.
So we're being joined by David K. Johnston, Professor of Public Policy at Rochester Institute of Technology. Thank you, Professor Johnston, for joining us. Is Donald Trump wading through troubled waters here, sir? And do you see most of his nominees, his picks, being approved by the Senate, or do you see some of them actually, not getting the kind of support they need?
Well, the people Donald Trump has put forth who are competent and qualified, like Marco Rubio, are going to have no difficulty being approved. But the Constitution requires the advice and consent of the Senate for a number of appointees. And Trump has announced he's appointing people who are utterly unqualified. Let's remember he tried to put a child rapist named Matt Gaetz, who was a member of Congress, as Attorney General of the United States, a man who was using drugs, paying for sex, paying a minor, according to a recent congressional report. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has no qualifications whatsoever in health care. He believes, for example, that vaccines cause harm, and only recently has he backed off on the polio vaccine, which was a terrible scourge when I was a child, and has been conquered. Similarly, Pete Hegseth, a hard-drinking former Marine of low rank, has no qualifications. And Tulsi Gabbard is especially troubling. If she becomes Director of National Intelligence, which would give her access to every single national security secret, it is virtually guaranteed that a number of American allies will cut back on intelligence they share because no one is confident that she is loyal to the United States as opposed to other countries, notably Putin's Russia. So it's the duty of senators in both parties to scrutinize people. And while Donald used to say, only the best people, I only hire the best people, in this case, he seems to be going out of his way to stick his thumb in the public's eye and appoint utterly unqualified people.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Johnston. Lastly, the numbers, Republicans still have a 53-47 majority in the Senate. So is it possible for the Democrats to, in some ways use procedural measures to slow down the process?
Well, they will have until January 3rd. That's when the new Congress takes effect. So they don't have any significant time here to do anything. But I don't think they will. It's not their nature. Remember Donald Trump, who set a mob to try and overthrow the government 4 years ago. It's not the Democrats. The Democrats, if anything, have been overly cautious in their respect for the law. And keep in mind that Donald himself has no qualifications for what he's doing. I've known and covered Donald for 36 years. I wrote about the prospect he'd become president in 1988. And in his last term, he underperformed the average post-World War II economy, despite what he says. He created fewer jobs than Barack Obama did after the Great Recession ended. And Joe Biden created record jobs. I mean, nobody close to how many jobs in history created under Biden. Donald makes claims. He says he got a landslide. He won by one of the narrowest margins in American history, 1.5 percentage points, and he didn't get half the vote. He didn't even get half.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnston. I'm completely out of time here, but thank you so much for the clarity. President-elect Donald Trump urging Republicans to be smart and tough in the face of potential Democratic efforts to delay the confirmation of his nominees. But Professor Johnston saying that it could be just procedural.